155 cannons doing it. F-35 coming in, simulating strafe. .155 cannons going off also. Helos leaving. All right. Little lull in the action. I'm gonna move up a little bit here. Welcome, folks, to Oshkosh Friday night. I'm gonna take some stuff out here so I can set this all up. All right, folks, I'm just gonna let you watch here for a while, man. So what's been happening tonight is they've been having an air show demo with a lot of airplanes coming in and out. F-35s, helicopters, 105 and 155 howitzers, and some just really cool stuff here at Oshkosh. All right, I want to take a look at what we got here. We got here on haunted. They do. Kevin Timmer, welcome back, man. Steve, hello. How you guys doing, man? They're not haunted fright. They're not blowing anything up. They're just blowing stuff off. So I don't know if you can see it out there. Let's see if we can get up here a little ways. They just have the cannons out there. See them? And then they have things like this. There's my favorite airplane. The F-35s are all up here, getting ready to come in. And man, I tell you, those suckers are loud. Those suckers are really loud. And hopefully, we'll get a little bit more here in just a minute. The F-35s are lining up. I think I heard you saying they are thinking about retiring your favorite plane. I think they are mistaken too. Not with all the problems that they're having with the KC-46, they can't do it. Seriously, they just can't retire 135s anymore. All right, and here they come. They're coming fast. Is there any other sound better than that? And then seeing this and this. Tomorrow night I'll be going live again. I told you guys I was going to be going Thursday, but my uncle is here in town. And he said I could only have dinner on Thursday night. And that uncle got shot down on his first mission during Vietnam. And he was a prisoner of war, the 62nd prisoner of war taken, and was there for 7 years. He got shot down when he was 26. He was there till he was 33. And I had dinner with him at the Fox River Brewery. If you're ever in Oshkosh, kudos to the Fox River Brewery. It was fabulous. It was great, great food, okay? And it was right on the river. Unfortunately, we had a massive thunderstorm last night and a lot of rain, so we were inside for dinner. But I'm going to have him on the show here pretty soon. And Haunted Fright, they didn't drop anything. It's just, fly over and set off these big fuel cans or whatever they were, okay? I'm hoping that the 155 cannons are shooting some more, but we'll see here in just a minute. And hopefully the KC-135 comes back. All right, I'm just going to take kind of a look around here. That's KC-46 from New Hampshire Air National Guard. You see that tail? That tail was painted by a gal by the name of Shane Meter. And you can see it's from New Hampshire, live free or die. That's their motto. We have VMA 223 Bulldogs. They're Harrier. And I'm going to go over here to this airplane right here because it is a really fascinating airplane, okay? It's a privateer. The B-29 dock is over here. They had 2 Sky Raiders parked here until just a little while ago, and then they left. But man, the smell of cordite right now is in the air. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just walking around. I want to show you particularly this privateer, because this is a airplane you don't see very often at air shows. And it's a Coast Guard airplane. Boy, am I doing this wrong, huh? Okay, here we go. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk up to this privateer. I want to walk over to the B-29 so that you guys can see it too. Just kind of walk down this airplane, because this is something you don't see very much at a air show. And it actually says Coast Guard on it, which I thought was very fascinating. Uh-oh, they got a honor line here forming up. Every night they do what's called an honor line, where they have vets who are from various locations come and doesn't look like I'm going to get to the privateer just yet. Hang on just a second. But let me just take a look down. See, they've got some of these old vets that come here, and they honor these guys as they walk around and do things. Okay, there's the privateer over there. Here's another airplane that came in the other day, F-86, F-84 of all things. Haven't seen one of those, have you? C-17 is also here on the ramp. You can see the line that they're making for all these vets that are coming. All right, here I am cutting through the crumpet.
I'm trying to find the guy that's running it. So.
But I want to walk around this airplane you don't normally see at an air show, a privateer, okay? And it's a B-24 body, but it's quite a bit different airplane. And I know some of you are going to go, it's not a B-24, Mark. Yeah, got it. Know that. Understand that, okay? But big tail, big windows, okay? And see, it says Coast Guard on it. And the reason they have these big windows like this is obviously they are looking for people, looking for boats and stuff like that through these great big picturesque windows. But here is the weapons bay doors that you would normally see on a B-24. And you know how they all open up, all right? Now, I want you to look at the size of one of these tires, okay? There's my foot. Look how big those suckers are. I mean, they're massive. Big oil coolers, big gear, big nose art. But look at this. You guys that build model planes will enjoy this. I'm going kind of slow here. You'll be able to download this later on too, okay guys? But here's the engine, the cells. And any of you guys that build model planes, like I say, I'll do this really slow so that you can take a look at it. But again, let's go up in here, look in the wheel well. All right. All of the bracing inside the wheel well. Back to the other engine. And something all radial engines do is leak oil. The C-54 that's here right now is doing the exact same thing. Now let's take a look at the engines here. Like I said, all you guys that build model planes, I thought you'd get a kick out of this. Uh-oh. ME-262 just took off. So the ME-262 is going to do a show, all right? And I'll finish this up with the Coronado here. All right. engines. So the two P-51s are going to take off, as you see here. Don't you just love that sound? What they've been doing is the two P-51s have been joining on the ME-262, and they've been doing kind of a flybys and very fascinating. Anyway, here's the nose wheel, and then here's a look inside. Sorry, too much glare. Of the privateer. Now, just so you guys all know, here's the all of the information on it. Looks like this one was a bomber. And then, of course, there's a picture of what they originally looked like with the big guns in it and everything. So I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing a privateer. This is something you don't normally see at an air show, this kind of an airplane. And I just thought that you folks would enjoy seeing this. And performance. Privateer has 2,800 mile range, cruising at 140 miles an hour. Max speed is 237. Big right, 2,600. Gross weight, 65,000 pounds. Now, to give you an idea of 65,000 pounds of this thing, that's about F-15E, 65,000 pounds. Interesting, huh? So, right now, there's a lot of people leaving, and I hopefully can get up front. But I want to walk you over to dock the B-29, okay, guys and gals? And if there's something specific you want, and there's the Lockheed Constellation also. And I just want to look at some of these prop airplanes, folks, so you could take a look at them, because these things are incredible. This one's been flying today, and has flown several times over the top of the airfield. And remember, this is an airplane that flew a lot of missions, and here you go. There's the prices, okay? Gunner seat, $600. Got an extra $1,200. You can sit in the Navigator. Book your seat for Sunday in Appleton. It's going to be up there. But those are the prices if you want to go fly in one of these things, which, to be quite honest, isn't too bad. Now, this one, Hamilton standard props, engines. Obviously, here's the exhaust. Again, let's take a look at these great big huge tires and wheels on this thing, all right? Just to give you an idea, I got a size 10.5 foot, so that gives you an idea how big these things are. The exhaust of and obviously the cowl flaps. And I have no idea why it says Air Defense Command, and tomorrow I'll come and find out why it says Air Defense Command. But here's the other writing on the stenciling on the props. And for you guys that are model builders that like to do this kind of stuff, there's a close-up of that. There's a close-up of that stenciling. And then again, just take a look at the engines. Air Defense Command. I don't know why it's got Air Defense Command badge on it, all right? But here's the serial number. And a close-up of the nose art on the airplane. Walk up to the nose wheel. Again, I'll put my foot on it so you can see how big it is. That's the nose wheel steering, obviously. But you can see, that's how you get on the airplane. Let me just walk down the side of it here. Again, there's a close-up of Doc. Let me go back to the waist real quick before the P-51s and the ME-262 get back. They're out forming up, getting ready to come back to the airfield. They're going to make a couple passes, okay? I want to go to the rear gunner stations, waist gunner station, excuse me. All right, just so you can take a look inside. And of course, the top one too is there. Another hatch, tail skid, okay, Super Fortress. And then there's the tail gun section in the 50s, or as they used to say, the twin nifties. And of course the gun sight. Great big hinges for the tail, for the rudder. And let me walk down this side real quick. I think right there used to be a turret in that round area. I'm not a World War II connoisseur. I apologize to all of you out there that I am not that well versed in it. But I don't know if you can see in there. Tell me if you can see all that. There's the hatch that connects over the weapons base, the bomb base. And then again, there's the top one of the gunner stations. And again, we're looking through one of the gunner's blisters, all right? Haven't heard the airplanes coming back. So let me go over to the Constellation real quick. Again, I apologize for the shakiness of this thing, but here, let me just let you take a look at this. Blocking out the sun, okay? Just from the tail. This is beautifully restored and highly polished Constellation, okay? Simulating Bataan, which I think was Franklin D. Roosevelt's airplane. All right? So let's walk up to it and take a look at it. Here's the cowl flaps. By the way, the Goodyear blimp has been flying everywhere. There's the cowl flaps and everything. Exhausts. Let me go over here. You have to remember, this thing had international range, all right? And actually was one of the very first airborne warning and control airplanes too, for both the Navy and the Air Force. Take a look up inside the wheel bays. There's the up blocks that hold the gear in place. Pretty cavernous if you think about it. Looking back up into the engines. But let's go over here, take a look at the nose wheel. And most of you know, this had a really unusual nose wheel because they're canted, all right? There's the steering mechanism, obviously the lights, okay? I'm not sure what that black bump is there. Probably some kind of radio navigation aid or something like that. Those of you that know, write it in here, okay? Again, I'm not a prop guy, okay? But let's just take a look up in here. All right, there's the actuator. Obviously the gear doors, the gear hits this and closes these doors, okay? And you can see the little thing that locks on right there. So what goes in there is that piece right there. This piece you see right here goes up inside here and brings these doors up. But look how tall this airplane is too. I can walk under this. I'm 6'2". My beloved tanker over there. All those guys are great people and have been a lot of fun to talk to. They've bought a number of my books too. All right, Hamilton Standard prop. There's the stenciling on it. The Curtiss Wright tag. The magnetos. Just a lot of cool stuff on these airplanes, man. For those of you who are building model airplanes, there's yellow. That's a very bright yellow. I've seen it a more orange yellow too. But again, same thing over here. Wheel wells. The other thing I want you guys to notice, look how clean this is. Whoever is the crew chief on this does a fantastic job of keeping this extremely clean. Because look at this. You'd think there'd be grease and everything all over this. There's not. It's gorgeous. Just an incredibly well-kept airplane and highly polished, okay? And then of course down the center, okay? Let's go back here to the back because this obviously had a configuration that, and there's a hatch so you can get into. The tails is a big deal, okay? And there you can see it. The tail configuration of this. Just a beautiful airplane. Very well kept, very clean, very polished. All right, let me go back and take a look at any questions we got, okay? Chillin' Dave. Welcome to the show. Jason, great to see you again, brother. Great to have you on. Mark, what air show am I at? I'm at the Air Venture 25 at Oshkosh is where I'm at. American Air Power, hoorah. Yeah, it's a really beautiful airplane, folks. I mean, really incredible the work they've done on this thing, all right? So, here's one other thing I want to go take a look at. Apache helicopters have always been something, they've always been of interest to me. And let's go back here and just take a look at the AH-64 Apache helicopter that's here on display. And I want you to notice. Thank you. Okay. Jimenez, Queen Anne's Revenge. The gun. Wheels. Hellfire. Obviously rocket pods, okay. Hellfire ×4. I'll show you what they've got written on it, all right. Hell follows. It's just a close-up of AH-64 Apache. Engines. I keep telling everybody on my podcast, I'm trying to do helicopters and I'm trying to do the rotor hubs. Right there are the rotor hubs, and now you can see why they are so difficult to draw. Because look at all the wires, all the nuts, bolts, hinges, everything. That's why it's so hard to draw. I'm just walking down this Apache. I'll walk down the other side so you guys can see it too. We got a H60 over here too. Tail wheel. Obviously flare buckets. But again, there is the tail rotor, and trying to draw all of that is difficult for an Air Force guy. But I'm getting through it. Number of antennas. I have no idea what that antenna is, but I'm sure many of you out there do. So write in the chat what that is, okay? Avionics bay, engine, rocket pods. Obviously something that the squadron does. There's a good look at the 4 launch rails. That's how you get in it right there. Queen Anne's Revenge. Let me see if I can do this right. Take a look inside. Weapons and fire control. Some kind of stuffed animal, but you can see all the different displays. Obviously, here's the IR laser sensors. Danger high voltage. The laser danger, obviously. And just a kind of a look at the seats. And again, all the fire control stuff.
Homeboy sits in there with his little headset, just turns, and that thing turns the way he
Rear seat. There's where the gear hook in. Obviously the struts. And rocket pods. All right, now let's go over here and look at the H-60s. I hope you guys are enjoying this and gals are enjoying this as I walk around. Cockpit. Modern displays. I'm gonna have to go on the other side to get a better picture of it. All right. I don't know why that's on. So that isn't any better. All right. Seats there inside. All of the swag that they bring. But here's how they get up the rotors. And again, look at the rotor assembly. And you can see why it's so hard to draw these, all right? All the actuators that move the blades in order to create lift. Flare dispensers at the exhaust for the engines. Flare dispensers. Let me walk around to the other side. I'm hoping the P-51 and the ME-62s come back here pretty soon. Look at all the stenciling on the helicopter though. Wisconsin National Guard airplane, obviously. That's where the tail rotor folds. No idea what airplane that is, but I'm gonna just look at this, okay? Oh, it's a T-28 Trojan. A lot of T-28s here. Again, same thing in the cockpit. Next thing I want to take a look at. Here's the Coda. Maybe get to see a little more of this. Very nice soft chairs. All the displays. Remember, this is built by another, in Europe. Seats do not refuel above filler neck. Yeah, like none of us do that in our cars, right? Now look at this. That's a very uncomplicated tail rotor. Not like that one right there. Did I even take pictures of this one? Look at this. You can understand why this is so hard to draw when you look at something like that compared to something like this. All right. Now, all right, we're at the tanker. Might as well walk around the tanker. All right. My all-time favorite airplane. Home of the Brew City Tankers. This one is from the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Air National Guard. Great group of guys on here. Many of them buying my book. Let me show you the business end, a close-up of what this looks like so that all of you can see. Now, they've got this thing down. That is the hoist cable that brings the boom up when we're done refueling. And here are the rudder vaders. You can see how they move up, down, move the boom up, down, and sideways. But here's the real business end right here. That's the nozzle that goes into the receptacles of like a B-52, F-15, and that is also where we attach the drogue adapter. Now, when you see this like that, like it looks like little rocks in here, that means it's a high-speed boom. Oklahoma City Air Logistics Center, March of 2025. What that means is it has been completely refurbished and overhauled, all right? Here's the boom siding window. I want to show you something very interesting on this one, okay? This is the LRCM, the laser counter-rocket, counter-SAM system. This airplane has the laser countermeasure system on it. And you can see it here. From both ends, the sensors. And then there's the laser on the bottom, all right? Now, here's one of the cool things about being in this tanker. That's the spigot that it gets refueled from right there. The fuel hoses from the trucks or from underground or wherever, this is where they hook up. And there's obviously the covering for it, all right? And under here, I'm gonna open this up simply because I know how to. That's how they open and close the tanks. So they'll have one person down here and another person up in the cockpit, fuel specialists, that turn all of this stuff on, or open, excuse me, and that's how they refuel the airplane. And the person up in the cockpit tells them, okay, here's how much is in it, in this tank and this tank. You can see upper deck, aft body, center wing, forward body, and then of course the reserves and the mains. We can only pump from the forward body and the aft body. There's 2 pumps in each, 4 pumps total. That'll do 6,000 pounds a minute when you have all 4 of them on. It takes us, my largest offload, as I said, was 103,000 pounds. And it took us 22 minutes to refuel them. And this is how you fill up a tanker right here. This is the refueling manifold, as they call it. All right. And you can see it's got a lot of stuff in it, all right? See that rod right there? That's the flap actuation rod. Okay? And I'll go over to the other side, I'll show you. That's the crossover valve. When we have a hydraulic problem, we can take the handle, put it up, and we actually get back some of the systems on the airplane that we need. And then you can see a lot of other things up here. That's one of the pressure relief valves for the pressurization system. All right. Again, so you can see how big these are. This main gear weighs about 10,000 or 12,000 pounds. Now, when I was at Kadena, I had a hard landing. And when you have a hard landing, I put 2 G's on the G meter. I had all of the lift taken out from underneath the wings because a gust of wind after a typhoon had gone past Okinawa had swept through and took all the lift out from underneath the wings, and we dropped from about 30 feet. There's a hydraulic fluid seal that's inside these struts. Those broke. And so the struts were bleeding hydraulic fluid. So in that case, you don't put the gear up, you leave it down, you declare that you've had a hard landing. I declared an emergency because I knew 2 G's was a lot. And the other thing too, let me see if I can find it in here. There it is, right there. That's the wheel siding window, the main gear siding window right there that you can actually see from inside the airplane. If you have a gear malfunction, and my boom operator went to that little window right there and looks out and kind of sees this and goes, yep, struts are bleeding. And that means don't bring the gear up. What they have to do is jack up the airplane. And when they jack up the airplane, they do what's called dummy swings, okay? Where they put pressurization on the hydraulic system and they swing the gear back and forth to see that the gear will in fact go back into the wheel wells without making a mess. But yes, I put 2 G's on the G meter, hit hard from about 30 feet. Did a go around. Everything I was supposed to do, I did, but it doesn't matter. The airplane was on its way down, hit the ground at 2 G's, and the seals inside that portion above the silver portion of the strut broke, and they were bleeding. Now, let's go to the CFM 56 engines. This is the hot section. This is the fan section. They've got them covered right now, so I can't see the rest of it. Folks, these are absolutely fabulous engines. There's only 2 times in the 13, 14 years I flew our models that I had to shut one of these engines down. Once because we broke an oil seal, which I had no way of preventing. And once because we had what's called a main engine control malfunction. The computer card basically in the engine went wacky. And the throttles were bursting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It was swinging the nose of the airplane around, so we just shut the engine down, okay? There's the fire extinguishers. And on my walk around, I look and see what the bottles are at, right through there, all right? Now, my walk around, when I was flying the airplane, started in a door right under here. There's Jordan. There's Bill. We're live on YouTube, okay? All right. They're buttoning everything up.
Yeah, we just closed up.
Okay.
Well, now it's a clean jet.
Now it's a clean, well, yours is a really clean jet. Yours is a guard jet. All guard jets are clean. Okay? We active duty guys tend to make a mess.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, we might make a mess, but our crew chiefs are very good at cleaning it up.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So this is, what year model did you say?
57.
Okay, that's the same year I was born. There's BB.
Yep.
Double B.
Okay, Double B, I want you to tell them your news today. You and I just talked about this. I'm on a YouTube live, okay?
All right.
All right?
2.5 hours ago, I got certified medically to requalify on the tanker after open heart surgery for a valve and an aorta replacement.
Okay.
Pretty amazing.
The crowd goes wild.
Happy to have them.
And here's the thing, folks. I want you to understand, a lot of people have come up to me and said, Mark, I've got this problem, I got that problem. He had a heart valve problem, and he's flying again.
Yep.
The miracles of modern medicine have brought BB back to us.
That's the old double
And
cross.
the old Double B.
We're happy to have him. How many combat service you got?
Lots.
Yeah, 200?
Just under.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, you and I need to talk.
Well,
Jordan, you're about ready to retire. How many do you have?
Right under 100.
Right under 100?
Like 96.
Really?
Yep.
Bill, how about you? Okay. And that's because the global war on terrorism is going on for a very long time. It has for a very long time, okay? But here you go. And then, of course, we got our crew chief here.
No, he's our intel
he's our
guy.
intel.
Intel guy.
He's the one that keeps us all smart.
Yep.
He's the spook.
reason they flew all these missions and came back.
Yeah.
He's the spook.
Armed, yes. Other than his heart.
How long have you been in the intelligence community? 12 years? Okay. So, and you came into the Air Force in the intel community. Okay. You came in as a boom, Jordan?
I came in as air traffic controller.
Oh,
I worked in the close controls for 7 years, then I got it for 10 years, and I came back. And
oh.
I saw what they do down in Milwaukee, so I thought, I'm going to do that.
I'm gonna have two. I'm gonna have two officers take me to work.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Bill, how long have you been doing this?
Flying for the military for 27 years. Spent the first 12 years flying 20 feet below in a Black Hawk, and then spent in some time above 20 feet, and then transferred over to this about 15 years ago. So
Awesome.
yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. And I showed him the tail. I said, you got to see the tail of this airplane. It's awesome. Okay. Any tail that's got a beer stein on it is okay. All right. But hey, guys, I appreciate you guys spending a few minutes. I know you guys are getting ready to go, but congratulations to BB. Double B is back in the saddle again.
And Mark, thanks for everything you do. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks
You're welcome. You're welcome. And you know what, brother? I'm just trying to tell the aviation story, man.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're a little part of it, but we're happy to be part of it.
Yeah. Increase critical thinking in the air and on the ground. That's what I tell everybody. All right. All right, guys. Have a good night. All right. We'll see ya. See ya. All right. Walking around here again. Now you can see the nose wheel steering on this. Oh, there's water dripping out. That's the nose wheel steering apparatus. Our walk-arounds start right here with this usually open, and there's a bottle inside here we have to check, and of course all the cables and everything are under here. Then what I do is I go back this way. That's where the crew chief plugs in so he can talk to us. All right, this is where they fill up all the oxygen bottles. All right, and then I always check these are the static ports for the pitot-static system of the airplane, altitude, airspeed. Always make sure that those are clean, all right? And then I'd go back into this wheel well to make sure that that box was closed and that's all locked up. And I'd take that down lock out. That was the first down lock I took out, okay? Then I went and I would check the gear and particularly the brakes. And if there was a lot of dust right there, I would ask questions, all right? Then I'd move to the engines. And every time I went to the engines, I would always put my fist inside there because birds would build nests in there. Seriously. They've got this on right now, but I'd look at the fans and make sure everything's spun in there. The other thing is there is noise abating material inside the engine. And if that looked like it was made into fibers, that was not a good thing because that meant that we had ice in the engine. Then I'd come here and make sure that's all locked up, okay? Where the blade air use, thermal glove, that's the manual starting control valve. Then I would come back here and then I'd look at the fans from this side, and again, make sure all the acoustic paneling wasn't messed up. Then come here and see that little puddle right there? There was many missions when I flew in Saudi Arabia where that was sand. It was filled with sand. And these things would actually be turning because of the high winds in the Middle East. Then I'd come over here and do the same thing with this engine. Make sure that door's locked. Stick my fist in here to make sure there's no birdies living in there. Check the fans from the front. Walk around. Check the fans from the back, like here. And again, you can see that's an oil cooler right there. And make sure all these fans are good, and then make sure the turbines are good. You can see that's water. It rained yesterday. But I've had armloads of sand back here. Then I'd go out here. And this right here, make sure that's clear. That's part of the pressure for the pressurization for the wing tanks. All right. Then usually the flaps were down. And I'd check all of the aileron, and then the flaps were down normally, and I'd check to make sure that all the actuators were good And believe it or not, we have another single flap. We call it a fillet flap. That's right here. All right. You've got the main wing flaps, actually here and outboard, and then you had this one here. This is a light that we use for air refueling. Obviously, radio antenna. Then I'd come back and check the boom. And this is a typical walk around, all right? Check the boom, check the nozzle. And normally this was up, all right? I have a flashlight. When we did F4s, we always greased this nozzle because it always helped with contact with the F4. The F4 had a really, really small air refueling door, and every once in a while, it wouldn't pop up. And a really good boom operator would actually tap the F4 refueling door, and it would pop up. It was the craziest thing. All right. Then I'd come back here, and there used to be a door right here that I would pull down. Oh, here it is, right here. All right. I'd pull down these doors right here, okay? And these cover the boom as it swings up and down and back and forth, all right? I pulled this door down one day. Sorry. I pulled this door down one day, and gas spilled all over everywhere. Obviously, there is some kind of pre-flight for the laser countermeasure system. I don't know what that is. We didn't have this on my airplane when I was flying it. But that's the little laser right there that spoofs the missiles once they're detected. I'd come in this wheel well. I'd take that down lock out, and I just look at the general condition, all right, of the wheel well. Blows the gear down, flap actuators, all kinds of cool stuff in here. Again, checking the wheels, making sure the depths are right, making sure that they're level. That's what that was right there. And looking at all four of them. Somebody left their hat up here. Again, I'm looking to see if there's a lot of powder on the brakes right there. I'd always ask questions because that meant somebody got hard on the brakes. I would come down, look at the flaps again, all the way out to once again this same right here. Okay, that's part of the pressurization system for the tanks, the fuel tanks. And then again, exact same thing, looking in the engines, okay? Looking at the fan blades, looking at the turbine blades, sticking my hand in there to make sure there was nothing living in there, checking the fan blades in the front. Come over here. There's the fire extinguisher access, and you can see the two bottles, one for each engine. That's how I'd check that pressure right there. Do the same thing. Look at the fans in here. Look at the acoustic panels to make sure they were good. Looking at the turbine blades. Again, water in here because it had a really hard rain last night. Make sure that this is closed. Stick my hand in here again to make sure no birdies are living in here. Come around. Make sure that door's closed under there. Look at all of this all the way down. This is where the air conditioning system starts right here. This is the intake for all the air that comes into the air conditioning system and the air cycle machine. And then I'd come down here. These are the pilot director lights that the receiver uses to put himself in the right position. I would check these static ports, and then I was done. I had 3 ground locks in my hand. I would pass them up to the boom operator, and I'd come up the ladder and do the interior check. That is how I did my walk around for the KC-135. Now, when we landed, I did the exact same walk around because I would find out after flight if any of that changed. If anything changed, like the tires had more wear on them or whatever, then I would write all that up. Now, one of the really cool things about being in really hot climate was after 2 hours of being airborne, the fuel in the tanks was the same as the outside air pressure, air temperature. In other words, like minus 27. And it would cool the fuel in the tanks. So when we'd land in places like Diego Garcia, this whole area had frost on it. And in Diego Garcia, where it's hot and humid, all of that frost was melting and water was coming towards you this way. And I would walk right here and I would hold my hand like this over my head, and all that water would fall on my head and drench me. And it was really cold, but it was extremely, extremely refreshing when I did that, because it just soaked you in very cold water. Like I said, there was sometimes about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/16 of an inch of frost on the bottom of the airplane where the wing tanks and the fuel were at the outside air temperature of where we came down out of, sometimes as low as minus 30 degrees. And so all of this would be frost on the bottom of the wings, and it would be dripping. Kind of like you see the SR-71 dripping fuel, but it was water. And I'd take my hand and run it over my head, and all that would fall on me like a shower. And man, in Diego Garcia, where it's 98 degrees and 98% relative humidity, it feels fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Well, folks, let me look and see what we got here. I'm looking for any questions. All right. I'm at, for all of you that want to know, I'm at Oshkosh at AirVenture 25 doing a live from here. We've been about an hour. We've had as many as 173. We're down to 73 now. Tyler Mitchell, welcome. I'm guessing you're at Oshkosh. Yeah, my dad should be up there by the Cessnas in a 135 named Speedy. We converted it with a 380 constant speed. Excellent. Supreme Eater. No smoking signs. You know what, Supreme Eater? That's a very fascinating question. I haven't seen one yet. Now that you've said that, I'm going to have to go look. Hang on, I'm going to sit down here and kind of go through all of this real quick. All right. Grandmother flew B-19s during, wow. That's an incredible airplane. Yeah, great news for BB. So I'm going to have BB come on, and an American Airlines, looks like an A320 just landed, and it may be coming in here. Yeah, good news for BB. He's been fighting this, I think he said, for like 3 years, trying to change what's that situation, okay? Does oxygen need to be refilled after every flight? Yeah, it does. The oxygen tanks were always refilled after every flight. They went down a little bit, but not a lot, okay? I don't know I'm watching this. I just spent 3 hours with one of these. Well, good on you, brother. James, how many missiles does one of those carry? I'm not sure which one I was. Oh, the rocket pods. That's a good question. Supreme Eater Micro once squeezed into the tiny wing tank access doors during an episode of Dirty Jobs. I don't know why he did that. Have you ever been in a dogfight in one of the fighters? Yes, I have. 3-time F-15. I've flown F-15 3 times, and yeah, pretty crazy. All right. A lot of people waving American flags with this American Airlines airplane coming in. It probably has one of the veterans paint schemes on it. And what they're getting ready to do is every night they have a salute to veterans. So let's walk over and see what's going on. Oh, T6 Texans are here. Yogi. How many of you have seen a two-seat Harrier? Obviously a training jet. There's the T-28s above us. And there's the American Airlines airplane that just landed. Everybody's all lined up. So they must be doing the veteran honor flight. And you can see folks over here. Now, I want you to see this, folks. Hopefully you can still hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. A salute to veterans by Airbus behind a Boeing airplane. And the one guy photobombing. All right, this is an Alaska jet. But I just thought it was fascinating, folks, that the veteran salute to veterans by Airbus is behind a Boeing airplane. Why is there a Boeing airplane and it says salute to veterans by Airbus? The world wonders. All right. And just to give you an idea, they'll be walking in here, all of these vets. All right, folks. Let me know if you want me to stand in line here. I have no idea how long it's going to take for them to get all the vets off this airplane. You can see they're loading the air stairs in right now. And Goodyear blimps flying around now too. This airplane right here on its way out is one of my all-time favorite airplanes. This unit from Massachusetts will be going to F-35s, I think they said within the year. So one of the last units to fly F-15s. All right, folks, I'm going to end for the night. I hope you've enjoyed me walking around here at Oshkosh and showing you some of the aircraft, helos, a noisy band, and you know, I'm wondering where those P-51s and the ME-262 went. I was hoping that they would come back, but it doesn't look like they're going to be back anytime soon. So tomorrow night is the night show, and after our booth closes at 5, and what I'm going to do is hopefully come out here for the night show, the dusk and night show. The F-22 will be performing. The F-35 will be performing. There's a rumor that the F-18 Super Hornet that's here may be performing, okay? It was parked right here. So there's going to be a lot of noise. And then many of the airplanes have pyrotechnics on them that are going to be flying tomorrow night too. So that'll be fascinating. So tomorrow night, probably come on. I'm in Central Time around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We'll say 7 o'clock and do the night show, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this. And thanks, Jason. I want to say 7 o'clock tomorrow night, but that may be too early because, you know, here it is 7:30, 7:26, and the sun's not even down yet. So it may be a little later than that. Let's say 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tomorrow, Central Time, not Mountain Time, since I'm in Wisconsin. Hope all of you have enjoyed this. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Sluggo signing off here. Hope you enjoyed the KC-135 walk around, because that's what I did for 23 years, 24 years. Flew that airplane, and that's exactly the walk around I did and all the things that I looked at. Talk to you guys later.